Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahushua Brakathum, all my brothers, Yahweh Shemal Dab, Hashem Yahushua, all my sisters. This is the Lashawan Qadash, ISUPK, Holy Tongue, aka Hebrew. So tonight we're going to be getting into a couple of things, right? So for example, we're going to get into nouns. So by now, hopefully most of you have learned the alphabet. If you don't know it, I suggest you go to ISUPK.com. You get yourself this. You understand? You can print it. You should be able to keep it on your phone. And what you're going to see is the Hebrew alphabet. You're going to see the Paleo Hebrew alphabet and the Assyrian alphabet. We learn both. All of these letters are interchangeable with each other. You understand? So this is an ah, ah. Ah being, you understand, the letter sound and vocalization. You understand? So ah, ba, ga, da, ha, wa, za, cha, ta, ya, ka, la, ma, na, sa, I, pa, ta, za, kwa, ra, sha, and tha. So make sure that you have this sheet to be able to follow along. So what you could also do is you can take a look at the board. You can see we have the Paleo Hebrew alphabet written at the top. I suggest you write this yourself at the top of every paper before you understand you decide to study it. This way you have a reference. Then down below, we have the Assyrian. Now, one of the other things you might be asking is, what are these extra letters that's on the bottom of the page? Well, you know how English has two forms inside the alphabet. You have uppercase and lowercase. Well, these are not uppercase and lowercase, but this does change the form of the letter. So each one of these, so for example, the pa has an alternative. There's 5 total. Taza has an alternative form. Ka, ma, and na have alternative forms. Now, what do these signify? These signify when it's the word has ended. So if any of these letters fall at the end of a word, the form changes to the one that's on the bottom. So, with that being said, we have nouns. I suggest y'all write this. You understand? If you want to understand language, sometimes it's easy to understand the language when you understand the grammatical rules. And I hate these terminologies. You know what I mean? I always used to say in English class, like, what the hell we got to learn these for? But it does help when you're trying to learn a new language. If you speak it already, it's like, well, what the hell are we talking about? I speak English. You understand? But if you don't know the language, then it helps to understand how it's structured, how it's formed, how it maneuvers. So nouns are person, places, things, and sometimes ideas. You understand? So for example, Abraham, that is a noun. It is a name. Jerusalem, Yerushalayim. You understand? That is a place and also the name of a city. These are nouns. So nouns have certain rules as to how they, you understand, are formed. You know what I'm saying? So for example, a person, place, thing, or idea can be masculine or feminine. They have gender. All right? So you have certain words. We're going to get into them. And it's very important for you to invest in a lexicon. If you don't want to carry around like a giant textbook, then one of the things that you could do is you can download the Blue Letter Bible app. This has a Strong's Concordance and lexicons on it. So that this way it'll tell you, you understand, the noun, the definition of it, as well as if this word is masculine or feminine, because sometimes you can't tell. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they also might change, just like English, but we'll get into that. So they can also be singular or plural. Masculine plural nouns usually, you understand? Usually, this is not always the case. This is just sometimes, or usually, most of the time. Usually end in ya. Ya, ma, connected, meaning that these two consonants connect to a closed sound. which is why we're not saying yama. We're saying yam. It's an open consonant to a closed consonant. You understand? Yam. And please, I beseech thee, my brothers and my sisters, right? Do not say akyums. Yeah, most of you might have already say ak or akyum. All right. So, for example, we have ak, kha. You understand? Ak. In the Assyrian, ak. Ak yom, brother, brothers. Ak yom. Now notice, if you look at the ma up here, you're gonna notice that it's open. The one below is closed. Reason as to why it's closed. That was a setup. So now you see how it's closed here? Because this ma has fallen at the end of the word. So whenever you see a plural inside of the Assyrian, what you'll always see is that that ma is going to be closed. All right? Akyum, brothers. Please do not say akyums. What you're doing is you're heathenizing the language. Yam is plural. S is plural inside of English. You know what I'm saying? We're not speaking Hebrewish. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're speaking Hebrew. We're speaking Ibar. Speaking Lashawan Qadash, the holy tongue. So let's keep our tongue holy and separate from all the heathens. Feel me? So now, masculine plural nouns usually end in yam. Feminine singular nouns, meaning when the word is singular, it's not multiple, we're only speaking about one, are usually marked with a distinctive ending. So, for example, ha. You understand? Ha usually signifies, once again, you see me saying usually because there are exceptions to the rules like there are in any language. You understand? So, ha usually could also be tha, ya, or waf. All of these are possible to signify that the noun, that the word we're using is feminine. So, for example, we have thara or thawara, law. If we wanted to make this noun, you see the ha at the end? This word is a feminine noun. Now, just so y'all know, just to be clear, you have feminine nouns, which means that the word is feminine, but it doesn't mean that it only applies to women. It just means that this word so happens to be feminine. There are certain words which might signify that it applies to women only, but the law applies to both women and men. We're only talking about just the gender of the word. You understand? Genders happen from letter combination and roots, you understand, which will determine if it's masculine or if it's feminine. So this is a feminine noun, thawra. And if we wanted to say laws, it wouldn't be yam because that's masculine. This is a feminine word. It would be waf, thawa, ra, waf, tharaf, for laws. I'm going to give y'all a second to copy this down if you haven't already. All right? I like the different colors. It makes it easier to see. Not going to hold you. I'm going to erase the top part. Y'all can start keep copying down the bottom. So I told you some have exceptions to the rules. Shouldn't have told you that. Should have asked the question first, but I'll give you an example. What word is this? Abba. Right. Abba. Father. Now, fun fact, we went over this a little bit last week, you know what I'm saying? Lord willing, we'll be able to get into more of these, but this is one thing that I love about Hebrew. So, remember, this is the Paleo. This, the Assyrian. Well, there's an alphabet that's even older than that. It's the oldest alphabet that's in the world, all right? And this is the Proto-Sinaitic alphabet, which is still Abba. Now, this is the head of an ox. This is literally like damn near like the structural design of a house, of a tent. You know what I'm saying? So like you would walk into the house, you know what I'm saying? It would be divided from the men and the woman side and other departments. You understand? Bayath, house. You understand? Allah, this is the head of an ox. An ox is a symbol of what? Strength. This is a symbol of a house. Abba, the strength of the house. This is where roots and why different Hebrew words are compounded in this way. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a pictographical language describing what the word is showing you. But like I said, eventually the alphabet has changed over the years and over the times. You know what I'm saying? My personal favorite is the Paleo. It feels like I'm writing graffiti. You know what I mean? So that's my favorite. All right?
Sorry, what's that title called? The ox?
Proto-Sinaitic.
Proto-Sinaitic.
You know, like prototype, it's always the first. This is the Proto-Sinaitic. Some people try to classify it as Canaanite. That's a lie. They try to say that we got this from the hieroglyphics. That's a lie. They got their alphabet from us. This is the oldest alphabet on the planet because Hebrew is the oldest language on the planet. I don't give a damn what anybody else says. That's what God says. That's what the Bible says. All right? So, Abba. Now, believe it or not, how would you say fathers? How would you think?
Fathers. Abiel. Abiel?
No. Now, Yam, why would you say Yam? Because father's masculine, right? This is an irregular plural. So believe it or not, it's Abawath. Abawath is fathers. Like, and just so y'all know, there's irregular plurals inside of English. You know what I'm saying? So for example, what does goose become?
Geese.
Geese. It's not gooses. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like there's certain things, like for example, there's other words. There's some words that are naturally plural and depending on the context could make it singular or plural. So I'll give you another irregular plural, right? Mayam, water, or waters. You don't say my yum yum. You don't say my yum wath. You say my yum for water or for waters. Like when the scripture says, and so God divided the waters or the one water from another, it says my yum. Also notice, ma, ya, ma, open, closed. Ma at the beginning or middle of the word, ma at the end. Now, this is like Chinese. You don't say Chineses. Same thing with deer. You don't say deers. You say, look at the deer. Look at that deer. You understand? The context is going to tell you. So certain words are, like I said, irregular when it comes down to conjugating or making something singular or plural. Sometimes they're both. All right? And just like English, in Hebrew, you just have to memorize these. So this is fathers, father, you know what? Let me stick with the same pattern. Abawath, Abba, father, Abawath, fathers. Mayum, water, Mayum, waters. And for some of you at home, it might help. It might help writing the letters in English also. You understand? Meaning, I know this is a ma and a ya and a ma now. You know what I'm saying? So I could associate it. So now if I gotta write this, ma, ya, ma, Mayum. Water or waters.
And these are called irregular plurals.
Yeah, these are all irregulars when it comes down to pluralization. I'm gonna give you a couple of more irregulars and then we'll get into basic words, all right? So for example, Shemayim is heavens or heaven. It's already plural. But here's something else about the heavens. What do you notice about Shemayim? Mayim. You ever notice how out of space they design the same thing like underwater for the gear? Space. It's like the waters. Shemayim, the heavens. Or heaven. Now, you don't say Shemayim Yum for heavens, you say Shemayim. This is like Mayum. You understand? The word remains the same. The context lets you know if it's plural or not. And this is also a masculine word. This is why if you ever name a sister heaven, you do what? You make it feminine. the ha makes it feminine. So now we're not going to call her Shemayim, that's too masculine. Her name's Shemaya, and it still means heaven, but now it's feminine. And that's another thing, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I learned that from General Muhammad. And when you name a brother or a sister, you want to make sure you name them according to the gender of a word.
That could be heaven or heaven. That could be heaven or heavens.
Yes. I'll give you another one. Sword. Sword is a masculine word. So instinctively, you would think that you're going to say karab yom. So the word for sword is karab. All right, so for example, karaba, karab, sword. But swords is karabwa. Some words are irregular when it comes down to pluralization. Swords is a masculine word but has a feminine ending. Now I'm going to give you another one. This is a little bit different. Ayash. Ayash is man. Plural, it changes. Now, this is probably a better example to what I stated earlier, like goose and geese. You know what I'm saying? Goose doesn't become gooses, it becomes geese. It's irregular plural, it changes. Ayash, when you want to make it men, becomes anashim. Man becomes men. This is another irregular plural. This is something that you have to memorize. Just like in English. Sounds masculine, right? Now, woman. Asha. Remember, ha at the end is feminine. Man, ayash. Woman, asha. Woman is also an irregular plural. Excuse me. It becomes nashayam. Because woman is taken from man. So the correct way, just so you know, these are irregular stem changes when the stem of the word changes. But these fall under the category of like an irregular plural. But you understand, like it's what's changing is it's an irregular stem. The stem of the word is changing. So these are exceptions to the rules. These are things that should always, you understand, be looked up. But in the meantime, let's get into some regular words. You know what I'm saying? Things that don't break the rules. All right. All right. First word we got, king. Malak. Malak. All right. Remember, the ka changes because it's at the end. Now, king is a masculine word. And since it's a regular, to make kings, what do you have to do?
You have to add the yum.
Yum. All right. Malak yum. Malak yum. Well, excuse me. This would change when it's plural to the regular ka, because now it's not at the end of the word, it's in the middle. So you would use the regular ka for kings in the Assyrian because it's malak yum. And now you use the ending ma because the ma is the last letter of the word now.
And if you don't got correct, you should add the yum.
Now, this is not the only definition of this word, napash. You understand? Life, living. You understand? Napash. It's a feminine word. So life, lives. Life is napash. Lives is napashwa. Book. Sapar. Sa-pa-ra. Sapar. This is a masculine word. So books is saparium. Saparium. Seed. Like you are the seed of your father. Zarai. Za-ra-I. This is a masculine word. It like makes so much sense, doesn't it? You know what I'm saying? Seed is a masculine word. So it becomes Zarayim. Bakwar is morning. It's a masculine word. So it becomes mornings would be Bakwar Yum. We'll get into more of this later, but I want y'all to get used to seeing words that are singular and plural. And you need vocabulary. You understand? You need vocabulary to be able to make sentences. You understand? Like, so for example, Bakwar Tawab. Good morning. That's how we speak with each other. You understand? Tawab is good. Bakwar is morning. They're reversed, like Spanish, like La Zona Blanca or Casablanca, house white. Hebrew is the same way.
So, I'm sorry, slow. So just with that example, right, with the wow, there's some words that are not, can't have a plural meaning to them.
Like some words, yeah, some words don't.
All right, so you're gonna say goods, it's always just good.
I think goods is a completely separate word. You know what I'm saying? Like one is a state of being, the other is an object. Like Hebrew, you could have similar words for the same word. You know what I mean? But the context will change, you know what I'm saying, depending on the usage. But we gotta have vocabulary so that this way we can speak. So now you have something called definite articles or indefinite articles, all right? So meaning, all this is saying is if it's something or if it's something specific. You know what I'm saying? So for example, a prophet. Nabaya. A prophet is Nabaya. Prophet. The prophet. The is Ha. Hanabaya. The prophet. A prophet is Nabaya. The prophet. Hanabaya. Oh my God. Switching languages. Elder. A elder. Zaquan. The elder. Hazaquan. Judge. Shapat. So now this is an indefinite article. A judge. Could be any judge. But if we get into specifics and we make it definite, definitive, the judge, Hashapat. Road or a road. The rock. The road. Hadarak. Warrior or a warrior. Gabar. The warrior. Hagabar. Now earlier we went over man. Ayash. A man. Hayash. The man. The man. Shalaya Allah. Hayash. That's the man. And he's also Gabar, a warrior. Hey, yo, I'm teaching class right now. Copy. If I ain't give a salute, that was my brother in the world. Right? before somebody got something to say. Like, what? What the hell? Who's this nigga talking to? All right. A city. I did it again. Ayar. The city. Ha'ayar. No, is it? Learn your Hebrew. Shut up. Let me stop. Now, let's combine some of what we learned. How would we say the kings? The kings? Hamalak is the king. Hamalakyum, the kings. So now, Malak is the root. You understand? Why? Because this right here is what we're talking about. You understand? Is it any king? No, it's these kings. The kings. It's definite kings.
Right.
What about the cities? Perfect. Oh, I messed up. Let me fix it. I wrote it all in blue.
It doesn't have a lot to do. That Misha. Sign press.
So, the cities. Ha, Ayaryum. Now we have something called a conjugation. You understand? Which is when you connect thoughts. You connect thoughts with, for example, and. And in Hebrew is wa. So the same way we put the ha for the, we put wa in the beginning for end.
And.
All right? So, how would you say end a man?
Wow. Ayash.
Yes. Wa ayash. End a man. All right, now what about this? What about and the man?
Wow. Hayash.
Yup. Waha ayash. And the man. and the city.
And the city. Wa, Ayar.
Waha Ayar, and the city. And the house.
House.
Waha Bayah,
Ayar.
and the house. And the seed.
And the sea. Wa, Waha, Za, Zarai.
Yup. Waha Zarai. And the seeds.
Waha, Zarai.
Waha Zariah, and the seeds. Y'all are speaking Hebrew. We got any questions?
No, so that's when you participate.
Okay, I see y'all participate. Participation.
So let me show you this one thing real quick, if I may.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we show you something.
Talk about it later. I'll deal with the Anunnaki later. Earth. Arataza. The earth.
Ha, Arat, Ha, Arat.
Ha-Arataza. People. Ein. Ein. The people. Ha'ain. And the people. Waha'ain.
And the people.
And the people.
These are Jews on roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's on the roll.
Time Christ. Mountain. Har. Like Captain Gadal Har. So you know what part of his name? Mountain. Gadal. Mighty. Mighty mountain. Har. How do we say the mountain? Har.
So what's the YA stand for? Y of?
Depending on a lot of times it's sometimes it's also signifying of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? So for example, Yerushalayim, it's God's city. Yah, you know, because remember Ayar is city.
Right.
It's like a stem change. You know what I'm saying? So instead of Ayar Shalom, meaning city of peace, it's Yerushalayim, meaning it's the Lord's city of peace. You understand? So usually when you see Yah, it's signifying that this belongs to the Lord, especially in a name. Judah. Yahweh. Ephraim. Aparium. Aparium wa Yahweh. Ephraim and Judah. E and J. Erkinger explains everything. That's spiritual. All right. Wa Yahweh and Judah. Could be Wa Aparium and Ephraim. Just Yam. C. Now, what's water? Maya. You know what ma signifies? From. Ma is usually from.
Right, that's what.
C. It's from water.
And heaven was
Shemayim.
Shemayim.
You understand?
which also is.
Because the heavens is like the sea. It's like water.
So the root word is yum.
You understand?
Hanukkah.
Mayum, water. Yum, sea. Wahayum,
And the sea.
and the sea. Captain's a call just texted me E and J. I see he locked in.
Hanukkah.
You know, every time I teach a class, he asks for a breakdown on the Book of Life.
Is the book of life.
All right, y'all ready for this?
Mhm.
Barashat,
Rashia.
bara,
Ra. Alahayim. Hawayim. Hawayim.
hasha,
Like Ash. Hashemayim.
wa'af,
Wa'af. Harak.
harataza.
Harataza.
What's hashemayim?
Hashemayim is the water.
Shemayim is shemayim,
Shemayim is
heaven. So hashemayim.
the head.
Harataza.
The earth.
Alahayim,
Not the Musa.
the powers.
The powers.
Because Alahaya is singular. Alahayim is powers. All right? Bara, created. Barasha,
the creator.
ba is in. Ra'asha, because what is head? Rash.
Right.
Something's head, it's at the start. In the beginning. Created the powers, meaning the powers created. Remember, it's reversed. Bakwar Tawa.
Right.
So, what you're seeing is, in the beginning, there was creation. Who created? The powers. Ath has no translation. It's letting you know it's a definite article marker. So it's letting you know what the powers created. What did the powers create? The heavens. Wa'ath. What's wa? And ath is what? The definite article marker, meaning another object was created. So specifically heaven was created, specifically and the earth. Sick, right?
Yeah.
All you had to learn was a little grammar. Yeah. Now it all gets pieced together. Bara'ashath, bara alahayim ath, hashemayim wa'ath harataza. In the beginning, the powers created the heavens and the earth. Feels good, right? We can't speak Hebrew though. Y'all are suckers. This is Genesis 1 and 1. Now it doesn't look so foreign because now we see Shemayim's the root. Ha is letting you know it's the preposition. You understand? Letting you know the heaven. Specifically, we got to define the article. Ah ha Shemayim. The heavens. Wa ah ha arataza. And the earth. You understand?
So you have to know when to put the off.
Yes. Yes, we will get there. Eventually, we'll talk about when you put the off. Okay, this is if it's a definite article. You understand? So if it's nothing specific, it's not mentioned. When it is something specific, it is. Because remember, without these, right? How would we know what's being created? Is the power being created? No. This is letting you know that in the beginning, the powers created.
Right.
What was created? The heavens and the earth. You know what I'm saying? So in the beginning, there's a creation. You know what I'm saying? What was it created by? Allahayim. Oh, the powers created it. What did they create? Boom. I know y'all was sitting there like, why are he making us say the before every word?
It's a setup.
Yeah, it is a setup because repetition is the father of learning. All right.
So that's a quick question.
Uh-huh.
From Brother Mashamar Ayash.
Okay.
It says, Laki, sir, the ah and the wa'ah are used to indicate a verb. This is the question.
It would depend. Like a verb is okay. The wa can signify a verb. You understand? Meaning a verb is an action. You know what I'm saying? So it depends on what's happening, which we'll get there later. I want to stick with the basics for now, but I'll give you an example since you asked. All right. So watch. Shamar. watching, Shawamar. Alawap Anya Shawamar. General Shawamar. You understand? Because his name literally means I am watching. Really, I'm always watching. You understand? So Shamar is watch. Wa signifies it's making it a verb now. Now you're watching. Now you are doing something. Let's see which one of y'all know this. Silver or money?
The Hebrew word for silver and money.
Kasap.
You said that 1,000 times right. Kasab.
Kasap. The money.
Hakasab.
Hakasap. Hakasap. Now, check this out. What was the word for judge earlier?
Shapat.
Shapat. Now, check this out. Mashapat. Judgment. Now, remember earlier, what's water? Mayum. What's sea?
Yum.
Yum. Where does water come from? The sea.
Sea. Come.
Mayum. Water.
From the water.
From the sea.
Sea. Come.
You get what I'm saying? Where does judgment come from?
A judge.
From a judge. Mashapat.
Come. Okay, come.
Sick, right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, yo, once you start to know how the language works, it's like you see how words are made.
There's always a root word somewhere in there.
There's always a root word. The root is judge. There's a judgment being made. Where does judgment come from? It comes from a judge. So you know what we call judgment? Mashapat.
And then Hashapat's the judge.
Hashapat is the judge. Now, what about the judgment? Hamashapat.
Come.
And the judgment.
Wow.
Wahamashapat.
Right. Come.
What about and the judgments?
Hold on. Wa.
Wahamashapatya.
It's all making sense.
Isn't it?
Yeah. It's all making sense.
Now, when you start to, you know what I'm saying, look in your Tanakh and whatnot, you're going to look and you're going to start finding root words. And you're going to say, oh, this is end. Oh, this is, you understand? Then there's certain things when it comes down, like, for example, we'll get there later. Don't want to get too confused. I want to stick with the roots and get the vocab. So The more vocabulary, the more you can read. Without vocabulary, you can't have any understanding. So let's say you ever see like "and Moses said" or "and he said." You know, I'll get there later. I'm not gonna get there yet. But let's stick with some more vocab. Now I don't want to put the pronunciation. Word, dabar. Word or also speak. How do you say words? The ra is a masculine word.
Okay, so
The bar yum. The bar yum is words. Truth. Amath. The bar amath.
True words.
True words. Words of truth. Speak truth. How about Bahama?
Of the truth?
In.
In.
In the truth. Now remember, Ba is in. Because we say what? Bahasham. In the name. Baha. In the. So Hasham is the name. Bahasham. The name. Now I'm going to get a little funny, but. La'a Bahama. You're not in the truth. Let me stop. For to kick me off Clubhouse again.
Damn.
Oh, that's funny.
So let me ask a question in regards to. All right, so let's say it's a car. That means that's remembrance.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the root word in that? Is it car? Does that mean remember?
Well, zakar is to remember. It could also be utilized as remembrance. Like it depends on context or how it's conjugated, but the root is zakar.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? To remember, to bring up again, to, you know what I'm saying? Remembrance. It's all synonymous with each other. Because some of these words I'm even putting up here, they might have multiple definitions or usages. Like, for example, you know what I'm saying? Arataza. Arataza is not just earth, it's country, land, you know what I'm saying? Because what is the land? The land is earth.
Right.
So it could be talking about the planet, it could be talking about a country. Even when it said Arsareth, it was really Arataza.
Okay.
So when it said, you know what I'm saying, another country, you know what I'm saying, it was talking about Arataza. You know what I'm saying? Or a land where no man dwelt. There wasn't Arsareth, it was Arataza.
So it can be dirt as well, you know, when you bring our clothes and throw dirt.
Well, I think dirt has a different name. You know what I'm saying? Dirt is, I think, a little bit more rooted closer to Adam.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because Adam was taken from, you know what I'm saying, the dirt. You know what I mean? But this is specifically, you know what I'm saying, Arataza. But could be because I mean, Adam, Dam is blood. Rataza, Adam. Let me find out.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because when it talks about mankind, the ha is in there. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So like I said, some of these words, they might have different, you know what I'm saying, definitions. Who is it? Check it. Oh, Shalom, sis, what's going on? Now, this one y'all gonna like. Zahab. You have to use the bathroom? Oh, I'm sorry. Zahab. Gold. Hayakal. Well, Hayakal, in this instance, this is a word. Some words do begin with ha. Hayakal. Temple or palace. You got this. Hahayakal, the temple or the palace. Once again, depending on context. Now, I went here just so you could see, depending on context, the definition of a word could change. You know what I'm saying? In the usage of it. But it's all in the realm of. All right, break that down. Shalom, sis, what's going on? Good to see you. You have to use the bed? Okay, whenever you're ready. I have the book. All right. I Walam.
I will
Forever. Everlasting. Ancient. Once again, context will tell you the usage, but these are all synonymous with each other.
Here in the verse, this is not first, I don't know. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, so now, check this out. Zabak. Sacrifice. Now, what do you think altar is?
Hold on. Is that a masculine word, Zabak?
Yeah, but not. What I'm saying, I'm not talking about sacrifices. I'm saying altar.
So, this is a box, so I'll say, Mazabak,
Ma.
Mazabak, Ma,
Mazabah, because where the sacrifices take place. At the altar. So ma is also from or like at. You understand? So mazabak is altar. Zabak goes on mazabak. Lakam. Ha. Lacham. Bread. And the bread. Wahalakam. And the bread. So now I want to drill this into you so that this way, when it comes time for us to make sentences, we'll be able to see them. Now, what I want to start getting into is maybe a couple of other prepositional phrases. I'm not going to get into too many of them today, but I want to get into some things with the vocabulary that we used, all right? So, this is before the king. So, before preposition. Lapanya. I know you've heard Lapanya, Ha Quadam. Ha Quadam, the east. Lapanya, before. So if you're saying before the east, you're saying face the east.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So before or face the king. So Lapanya, before the king or face the king. Lapanya, Hamalak.
So face the
Before the king, face the king. Lapanya, Hamalak.
Okay. Lapanya, Hamalak. So panya means, is there a word?
Well, it's Lapanya.
Lapanya. So I'm just thinking like I want to say drill on deck. Is that?
Panya. Panya is on the surface, on the face.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So la is to. You understand? So to the face is before.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like la yasharala.
Right.
For Israel, to Israel.
Gotcha.
La panya, to the king, before the king. I mean, I've come before the king.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You bow. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
La panya, hamalak.
Before the king.
Before the king.
Like to present yourself.
Yes, exactly. Because Punya is also like when you're reading in Genesis and it says, and the Lord's Spirit was upon the face of the water.
Right.
It's going to say Punya Mayum. You know what I'm saying? That's like on the face.
Gotcha.
Might be a ha in there somewhere, but you know, you get. All right. All right. Let's see. I'm not going to get into too many of these, but Bayan is between. Bayan Hamayum.
Between the waters.
Between the waters. So this is between the waters. What about if I said Bayan Ha-banyum? So the root word is abun. Abun. Like aban.
Stone. Right?
Stone.
Between the stones.
Banya, excuse me. Bayan ha abanya. Between the stones.
Right. Plural stones. Right.
Like you caught between a rock and a hard place. Shada, a field. What if I say Bashada?
Bashada, in the field.
In a field.
In a field.
Because
it would be Ba.
Bahashada.
That's in the
field. You understand? That's just specifically to what we're talking about, definite or indefinite, but sometimes it is in the. Like, for example, Barasha, they didn't put the ha, and you know what I'm saying? Because that's, in the beginning isn't a direct place.
Huh.
It's indefinite. Right. So that's why there's no ha there. But this is a definite field, ha. But a field that's not specific is ba.
Right. Huh.
All right. Now you also have ka, which is like. Ka is like. So if I say Kamalak.
Kamalak is like. I can't say the king, like king.
Like a king. You got a good woman, if she makes you feel, Kamalak. like a king.
I like that.
Like a king. What was the word for prophets earlier?
The word prophets.
Nabaya. Nabaya is prophet. So if I want to say 2 or 4 a prophet.
2 or 4 a prophet. Kanabaya.
La Nabaya.
No, La Nabaya. La Nabaya.
If it's like a prophet,
yeah,
then it's Ka Nabaya. Remember, La Yasharala, for Israel, to Israel.
Right.
Bariyah, covenant. So the Lord gave us for a covenant. La Bariyah.
That's 2
Or 4.
or 4. 2 or 4.
All right. All right. Kathab means to write or wrote. So this is to write. That's all I'm going to give you. Translate it.
Katab, Af, Wad, Af, Yab, Yabarium,
Hadabarium.
Hadabarium, Bakar,
Sapar.
Sapar. So
Basapar.
Masapar. So
He wrote.
he wrote the truth.
The bar is words.
He wrote the words in the book. right?
You understand exactly.
God.
Technically, in a book.
In a book.
You understand?
Wrote the words in a book.
He wrote the words in a book. So now, here's the verb. He wrote.
What did he write?
What did he write? Words. And he wrote them in a book. Now, you see there's no out here?
Right.
Why?
Because the owl is there.
Because these were specific words.
So, yeah, because the owl.
But this wasn't a specific book. This is an article identifier.
Yeah, so that's specifying
What's being written.
Right.
And this is where. But it could have been any book. It wasn't a specific book.
Right, but we know what in that book were the words.
The words, you understand?
Right.
So now this is why it's so important, because remember, this looks so confusing until you realize the plural, the words. You understand? Now we know the suffix, yam. It's a masculine plural for words. You know what I'm saying? Sapar is a book. In a book. Indefinite article. The verb, kathab. Wrote in the words in the book. Now we know ba is in.
Right.
So now, once you see the root, if you know the prefix or the suffix of the prepositions, you know what's happening when you're reading.
Come on. It could be sloppy. This could become addictive when you.
Yo, I'm telling you, it's amazing.
We got 15 more.
15 more minutes? Okay, cool.
What word do we use?
All right, let's do one more sentence, all right? Now this time, I'm not going to give you the connectors. I want you to come up and put the connectors and then translate it.
Okay.
All right?
Shabbat, can you rewrite your question? What word do we use for the word is when writing a sentence?
Only word I'm going to give you is the first one. Yes. Nathan, to give.
Okay.
Gave.
Oh boy.
Let's see what you got.
Oh no.
I believe in you. Creo en ti, Papa, okay?
What's that? Done. Hanabaya.
Yep.
Hanabaya. Okay, so gave the prophet off, right? That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Hasapari. Hasapar. gave the prophet the book. La, 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 la. Gave the prophet the book of the king.
You understand? So he gave. Who gave? The prophet. So in English, this would be the prophet gave the book to the king.
Okay.
You understand? Like la is there's no, you don't have to do la tha.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if it's la, it's going to the who?
To the king.
To the king.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So remember the verb comes first. So this is gave. Who gave? The prophet. The prophet gave what? The book. The prophet gave the book to the king. It's fire, right? Yo, it unlocks the whole language.
Yeah, God.
It's amazing. I love it. All right, let me see if I got another sentence. You know what? We don't have too much time. So what I'm gonna do is for the last of the class, I'm just gonna write some vocab on the door. Matter of fact, I'm gonna give y'all a second too. So Nathan, Hanabaya, Hasapar, La Malak. The prophet gave the book to the king. Well, you know what? Maybe I'll quiz y'all. See who pays attention, see who's taking notes. They're typing in online, right? They're active?
Yeah, come on, concert.
All right. What is sword? Please. Sword.
All right, Chuck, I got the answer. Go ahead and type it in. What is the word for sword?
Is there a delay online or?
Very slight.
All right, so I'll give you one. Okay, so what is Napash?
Napash means life.
Life. All right. Dabar.
Dabar word.
Malak.
Oh. Stop. Is that sword?
Karab.
Karab, almost.
Karab.
Put it in there. Stop. Close, brothers.
All right, what is seed? This is for them.
Okay. You got it. What is seed? Also, priest also, Sharatza asked, how can we use the word is?
There is no is.
There is no is?
You know, like there's certain phrases or certain words like you don't need in Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? Like for example, like earlier when I was saying a prophet,
right, there
is no a. You know what I'm saying? Nabaya. But Nabaya is a prophet. You understand? Sapar. A book. There is no a. You know, you don't put asapar.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's how we translate it in English, because Hebrew is a very blunt to the point language. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't have all this extra nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
it's black and white. All them extra words is really what makes English the devil's language. You know what I'm saying? Because you could be subtle and conniving, and you know what I'm saying? Even when they say in the law, like, they leave certain things open to interpretation, so these bastards got wiggle room later.
Right.
That's how they move. Whereas ours is thou shalt not, done.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? Ain't no clauses or, you know what I'm saying, whatever extra garbage they want to put in there. Shit is crazy.
Rata says C is young.
C is young. Let's see. Water. Water. And how do I say heavens? Meaning, what is heaven plural? Any answers?
Not yet. Not for those two questions. Not yet.
I'll give y'all a second. So
we got Shemayim.
For what? What is Shemayim? Call this
Rata put in heaven.
Okay, well, close enough. Heaven and heavens, remember, it's plural or singular in the same word, just like water or waters. All right, both of those are actually the same. All right, like I said, we talked earlier about deer. You don't say look at the deers. It's just look at those deer. So it's going to let you know, you understand, based off of context, what it is, what it isn't. All right. Okay. What is La Punya?
What is La Punya?
La Punya. They throw it in yet?
No, but La Punya means to face.
Or before?
Or before, so.
Perfect. All right, so with that, pass the class over to Priest and Officer Shalai.